Welcome back to Queen Rise Up, where we empower women to know their worth. We're back here with some good tea, some good stuff. So I hope you fasten your seatbelts, because here we go. But today, don't forget, we got my guest, Tammi Robinson, and we're just going to talk about, going through the fire, but, take them ashes and turn them to beauty. Tammi, I want to know, how did God turn those things into beauty? Where are you now?
Well, thank you so much for asking. Where I'm at now, I am in the most peaceful state in my life. I've never liked toxicity. I never liked drama. For some reason, growing up with that many siblings, I've always been surrounded by it. Every family is dysfunctional, right? But where I'm at now, I am thriving, not just being in love with myself, but I'm being loved correctly now. I never thought in a million years that I would have a healthy relationship, because all I knew was toxicity. My marriage was not my first abuse. I had 2 previous abusive relationships prior. So I had 3 serious relationships in my life. So I've been so accustomed to being used to a man, ripping the rug underneath me. When I finally arrived to the place that I was content and okay with myself, God, and me, like I said, I get married, I don't. Kids are kids, I don't. I'm okay, God. I love it here. Is when my partner came into my life unexpectedly. Wasn't looking for it. It was a desire that one day I do, but if I did, like I said, I came with content. But I'm being loved correctly. I'm in a place where I never have to worry about a man ever calling me out my name. I don't have to worry about him raising his voice, raising his hand. He's soft. There's a difference between an alpha male and a masculine man. Mm-hmm. He's masculine. I am protected. I've never felt protected. I think the last part that I really had to get over, when I came out of my divorce, I got over the fact and healed from, the things he did to me, and then I endured. But the last piece that I had to get over, about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, about 4 years, is that I had to get over the fact that you really abandoned me when I needed you the most. My father was passing. Now, that's only one man that makes me emotional, my father, to this day, because I miss him. And I had to get through that, and it was hard. And I'm like, the man that protected me is no longer here. Mm. I've never compared my ex-husband to my father, but who the man I have now, I compare him to my father.
Wow.
Go-getter, provides, protect, is gentle, is soft, listens. He's in tune with me. I can move and he say, "Are you okay?"
Yes.
Imperfect, but he's for me, my person. And very understanding. He understands my triggers. He understands my story. He listens, and vice versa, because I give what I required. I'm simple, but don't allow my simplicity make you think I'm less than, because I require what I give. So I am being loved correctly, and I'm being more boisterous. And even my aftermath, he understands when I'm triggered. I can say to him, "Hey, I'm being triggered right now." He'll say, "Why?" Calm. When I say there's no arguing, we don't argue. I can say, "Look, I'm upset right now. I don't want to talk. I'm going to the gym." When I come back, I can identify my emotions
and deal with it.
I respect him so much. I will never disrespect him. I can talk my emotions down and say, "Hey, listen, I'm upset, but I love you and I respect you. I'm not going to go there with you."
But you know what I'm finding in your process? Mm-hmm. If you had not dealt with self, you would probably not be able to recognize the triggers, but you've dealt with you. So now you can recognize them, that your triggers won't wreck your home.
Right.
Because sometimes our triggers will wreck our environment, the toxicity. But when you start dealing with that toxicity that's in your life, you won't affect what's around you. So now you be able to hear him, he can hear you even in silence, because now you're not projecting the anger, the bitterness, the frustration, the pain. And I think that's part of the ashes to beauty piece. And I realize you can't even have beauty or ashes without, you can't have ashes without a fire. So you had to go through that process. What you say, it's not what happened to me,
It was
but it's what happens for me. I want to tell that queen today out there, it's not what happened to you, it's what happens for
For
you.
you.
So, and I realized that when and you said something earlier too, when I just want to share when Tammi was saying she had been in other relationships that were toxic.
Yes,
A
abusive.
lot of times we attract who we are. And so because we wasn't dealing with those toxic traits, you keep attracting those toxic people. And when you start cleaning up those things, now it makes space for healthy relationships and healthy boundaries to be set. And then knowing how to deal with things as they come instead of allowing things to deal with you.
Right.
And I love that about your story because I'm, a woman that overcomes a woman that overcomes and endures. She's a strong vessel. You get wisdom
Yes.
through your process, going
Absolutely.
through. God gives you wisdom. He gives you knowledge.
Give you great insight, things that you never saw before, especially when you are reading the word over and over again. You get different insight. Psalms 91 is so me. And when I was going through, I was able to dissect that entire chapter. Like I say, when life is happy or anything, I often say, Psalms 91 talks about me, Tammi Robinson. You're talking about me. I'm protected. And I love that because I didn't understand the magnitude of it. Even when I went through my divorce, and I'm love where I'm at now, but when I went through it and coming out of it, you have your highs, you have your lows. Some days you're good, some days you're not. Some days you're like,
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
want to get out. I remember getting out of the bed and I'm driving to work crying, fixing my face, going to work, leaving work, crying, shutting down. All I can do was just put on YouTube on my TV, and this is the time Michael Todd had just came out. He just wasn't, I think he was just assistant pastor, associate pastor at the time, and I'm listening to him and I fall asleep to that. I don't want nothing for my ear gates to even be penetrated. It had nothing to do with the word of God because I'm so broken
Yeah.
at that time. And also, I would say, onto my healing journey, I did not want to be in Niagara Falls. I strongly disliked it so much because all the pain that was associated with it. And I left. I came back, leave again. I'm like, God, why do you keep having me come here? It's not until the end of 2023 when I was able to say, you know what? I can't allow seeing the house that we lived in, seeing the house that I helped his mom, build and get, all these things associated with it, triggers where I'm like,
yes, ma'am.
and I'm like, you know what? Especially when I realized that his mother, you enabled his behavior, and I had to be okay with that. So that's what I said where I'm at now. I had to actually face things,
Yes.
those little things to say, you know what? Okay, boom, you got it.
And I did that. I ran.
All right.
I left the city of Buffalo because everywhere I went, I felt like it was triggered. From all of the exes, it was just horrible. Ride down the street, I remember in the shop where the mistress used to do my hair. Oh, oh my goodness. So now I take that strip almost every other day. And the same woman who became an offset in my marriage, she was once upon a time my hairstylist. Don't start none, won't be none. I'm just saying those were the
Hey,
triggers.
it is what it is, yeah.
Fire. When you say fire, from ashes
Yes.
to beauty. And so those triggers. So I left as well. I left. I left because I didn't want to face those triggers. And being around the environment, but God sent me back to fight the fight that He already told me that I was going to win. But I had to be in the right place in order to fight.
Right.
And you had to be equipped. You said Psalms 91.
Yes.
Because you got to be equipped. I used to say this, Tammi. Teach my hands how to fight, Lord, and my fingers how to war. But not my style. Let me do it your style. Because Psalms 91, I felt like UFC David and Goliath.
Yes.
I'm going to take this sling and put this stone up in the throw. You better watch out because here she comes.
Right.
But you do it with grace.
Yes.
You do it with wisdom. And I know there's some women out there who's probably got triggers and things that remind you where you've been. But I want to say this, if I can say this. God is a
Absolutely.
healer.
Yes, he is.
He is a healer. One of the queens asked me a question a while ago, Tammy, and they said to me, have you ever said, forgive me, I'm sorry? No, I didn't. Once you're really healed, you don't even ask for forgiveness. You don't even look for it anymore.
No.
That was the moment I really realized, Tammy, that I was healed.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm healed because now I can talk about the situations, even the triggers,
Yes.
Infidelity. To me, that's like,
Right. It doesn't sting anymore.
it doesn't sting anymore.
I tell people all the time, it does not sting anymore. And I was telling my love, I said this today, I said, I think the only thing I probably get choked up about, and I think it's normal, it's just when I talk about my dad, because miss him. That's, my father is, I am who I am because of him. I watched my mom and my father be married for 40 years.
Wow.
And have as many children as they have.
Wow. How many children do you? How many
As
children?
the total children that we all together, 13.
Oh, big number.
13. And my parents is definitely old school.
Wow.
My father was born in 44.
Wow.
My mom was born in 56. So they're 12 years apart. But my father worked for the city. He did blacktop. He was a hard worker. Wow. He's Native American. And he worked really hard. Mm-hmm. He had a third grade education, but he made sure that he worked.
Took care of his family.
But very smart, intelligent too, very wise. I love listening to him. So he taught me me naturally, I enjoy, and I know society's term, when you think of the word submissive, to think controlling. No, I still enjoy being submissive to the right person that deserves it, because we serve each other. It's about partnership. So it's about partnership.
I like that.
And I watch my parents be partners. That many kids still making sure there's food on the table, even through their struggles. No marriage is perfect, but I got to watch partnership. My father would come home from work and go right in the basement, take off his clothes from blacktop because he did blacktop. My mom already cooked. His bath water is running. He'll sit down and eat, and then after the food is done, he'll go wash dishes. I watched them serve each other.
I love that. And the reason why I say I love that, she said something was key: submit one to another. Mm-hmm. I found that if you're not confident, if the persons that you're with are not confident within themselves, there'll be a conflict of interest,
right?
Or jealousy could take place.
Absolutely.
But submitting to one to another,
yes,
that is the key.
Yeah,
when you've seen it. I didn't see it in my family. I didn't have a father.
Understand.
So my mom, single mom. So I didn't know what it is to have relationships. You know what I mean?
Understand.
And to have a solid foundation with a man in the home.
Right.
My stepdad, who I love, he was there for us. But I mean, growing up, he wasn't. In our younger age, to see a mother and a father, husband and wife into a home. So I really had no clue on how even to do a relationship.
Right, but you know what? That also proves statistics wrong. You didn't have, both parents. I did, but I still choose wrong. Mm-hmm. So what I put together in that, I just say that as women, we're not taught how to date. I tell my brothers or any of my friends, men that have children, if you have not just children, but if you have a daughter, take her on a first date. Let her know what acceptable, what's not acceptable. What conversations are appropriate, inappropriate. What to expect, what not to expect. Yes. Those things. Don't get me wrong, my father taught me, make sure you don't walk on the outside and stuff like that. And, a man comes up to your house and make sure he knocks on your door. Yes. Don't blow no horn. You ain't no hussy. And this ain't no flu house, stuff like that. He's old school, okay? So, but properly know how to date. All I was taught growing up is don't have sex before marriage. Okay. Anything else? What do we know about relationships? I don't know.
We don't.
So statistically proved both of us wrong. So that's what's missing, not being taught that.
But I say with that being said, before we go into our commercial break, before we was in our mother's womb, God had a plan.
Absolutely.
before, that was one of the things that also kept me. So even though you had an experience, it didn't go the way that you supposed. However, we'll be back because we got some more tea for you. Make sure you join us. See you at the few.
What's up, y'all? I'm here to invite y'all to our 5th annual Community Day of Prayer right here in the city of Niagara Falls on Saturday, June 7th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be at Gluck Park located at 1550 Weston Avenue. We got free food, hot dogs, hamburgers, drinks. We are also having a food drive this year. We're going to switch it up a little bit and try to provide back to our community. So we are seeking donations to help with our food drive. So if you have any non-perishables that you want to donate, you can contact me at 716-255-3454 and we can make arrangements to get that in. I pray to see everyone out there. We're trying to get some basketball games going. It's going to be a good time. Come out and fellowship with our community.
Welcome to Queen Rise Up. We want to welcome you back. And you know what? I'm so glad that you've tuned in and you have joined us today with my wonderful guest, Tammi Robinson, who has a story. And don't forget, you have a story. But I want to talk to Tammi a little bit because, you know, coming through them ashes and getting up and, you know, rising up. You know, Queen Rise Up is about rising up from the inside out and getting to your destination. Because I do believe, even before I left you in my last segment, you know, God has a plan. Before we was in our mother's womb, he already chosen us. He already set us apart. So the divorce didn't stop her. The death of her father didn't stop her. She rose up. You said you are a realtor. You're into real estate.
Yes. I been in real estate since 2013. Started off on my own with my ex, and you know, I did the property management, and we went to auctions, you know, got properties. He was the contractor, he fixed everything. And then I transitioned into the corporate world. And I fell in love with it. I enjoy property management. I love what I do. And I just kind of just elevated from property manager to the district manager. Then I became the regional traveling property manager, and then from there, that's when I elevated to become the director of operations for the private investment firm.
Absolutely amazing. A woman of intelligence, integrity, resilience. She's a boss lady. Excuse me. I love, you know, because let me tell you something, because I love hanging with like smart women. Now I know what I know.
Right.
And I know iron sharpens iron, but I love being around the table with some intelligent women that can even teach me as I go.
Thank
and
you.
we learn one from another because we all don't have it all together.
Listen,
but
okay.
Iron sharpens iron, and to take her real estate knowledge and to expand is absolutely amazing. I know in your biography you did say to me you dancing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. Now I be getting me some steps in, but to be a choreography, and no, let me just do what I do.
Ain't no wrong with freestyling.
So how long you were in dancing and how?
It's crazy because my nickname that my father gave me and my mom is Regel and our Jammer. So since a kid, this is definitely, I'm telling them myself, I'm dating myself by his age. In the city of Niagara Falls, I used to have a store called Jubilees and Trippies.
Oh.
Jubilee used to be on
Yes,
Main
ma'am.
Street, and Trippies used to be right there on Hyde Park. So the music would come on, and I'm just jamming away and dancing to music as a little kid. I couldn't be no more than probably 7 or 8, but I always fell in love with music. See, but also my family is musically inclined.
Yes.
So my father and my mom, they would dance together. I mean, the fact that they're 2 different generations, they're 12 years apart. So my father, we're talking about B.B. King, we're talking about James Brown. You know, my mom, she's Shaka Khan. She's born in 56, right? So all these different generations.
It's in your blood. You got it honestly.
In the household. So I love dancing. So also dancing was my outlet. I fell in love with dancing because, you know, I was a girl with the glasses growing up. And I needed an outlet. Anytime I've gone through anything traumatic or toxic, I always had a positive outlet. Like, so my first studio was my bedroom with a mirror. Dancer in front of it, you know. I know I was part of Destiny's Child, okay?
Uh-oh.
You couldn't tell me nothing. And I knew I was Janet Jackson,
I am
okay?
listening.
Okay. Okay. I was Janet in my mind. But that was my outlet.
Yes.
And then my parents couldn't afford professional dance classes. So I was able to take professional dance classes at 16 at Miss Bev's Dance Studio. They're no longer there.
Yep.
Within a year of me dancing, they made me a teacher assistant because I was so naturally gifted. And then I started teaching at 19. And then my later years, I did, talent shows in college, talent shows in the city. And then as I got older in my 20s, I opened the Miss Tammy's Dance Studio. And I started in Old Niagara Falls High School, which is also known as the Niagara Art Culture Center. Yes. I was there maybe 2 years. Wow. And then I moved over to the Niagara City Loss for a while. And that's unfortunately once I went through my divorce and lost my dad, it's just when I couldn't do it anymore. I wasn't in the mental space to do it anymore. But I've been getting asked for so long for people asking me to dance, and I'm ready.
You ready?
Are
you ready?
I am. I'm ready.
I like to dance, but I gotta make up my own steps.
Do your thing.
I gotta do my own thing.
It's called freestyle. Do your thing, baby.
Do your own thing. I remember going to exercise class, and we would have like classes, and I would go in the corner, and I would make up my own dances. They were like, "You really like to dance?" I said, "I do." So I now realize, I'm at home in my own space, and I be walking it out.
Listen.
I walk how I walk it.
Listen.
And you can walk with me,
It's my groove.
Listen, at the end of the day.
It's your thing. Listen, okay?
Do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do, okay?
But I am expecting, looking forward to you going and open those doors up, because you know what? I think this is tonight.
Thank you.
Today, tonight, to now.
Yeah.
It's just another opportunity for the next thing on your life.
Thank you.
For the next. And there was something else that I know. So when they hear, I know you're going to write a book. It's not out yet.
No.
It's in the making.
Yes, I've been writing for probably a few years now. Yes.
I believe every woman that has a story has a book. It's just something about it. I believe that every woman that has a story has a book. I am lazy about my book. I don't like writing, so number one. But I want you to know, when you remember Tammi Robinson, her story. So when she come out, you know what you get and you know what you got. But it is Tammi Robinson.
Yes.
It is her.
Yes, humbly her. It's my hashtag.
Wait a minute, say it again.
Humbly her. It's
Humbly her.
It's my hashtag.
Humbly her.
Yes.
Tammi Robinson. Oh, that was cute. You got me. She's so amazing. She's so adorable. Her story, her persona as a person is absolutely amazing. I love your energy, Tammi.
Thank you.
I love what you bring to the table. You're not afraid. I hear her confidence. I hear her boldness. Intelligent woman. And it's such an honor. It really is to have you at this opportunity in your life right now, and to sit on this table with Queen Rosa.
I am honored that you even have me here. So I'm really grateful. I do believe everything happens for a reason. And also, it even, like I said, I talked to my love and a few of my friends, it even launched me to become a life coach. So I'm in the making of that, because I enjoy helping people, and I enjoy serving. I really do. My friends come to me now, literally, and from all walks. Like my good friend of mine, she lives in Virginia Beach. She's 54. She talks to me all the time, and I'm listening to her, and I pour it to her. I got another friend. She's 36. So I know that's my gift. I went to school for psychology.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons why I invested into it. So I'm actually gonna thrive in all of it. It's time.
You said something. You pour into them. What do you do to pour into you? Because I do believe giving out of your overflow. You don't want to give out of your reserve.
No, I don't.
But what do you do so that you can give out of your overflow?
Honestly, so in my morning times, typically my regular regimen is I'm up, the world is quiet. It's guiding me. So typically my routine is, sometimes I've been thrown off lately, but typically to get myself back is I make time for myself.
Yes.
So the world is quiet at 5 a.m. Not have to worry about notifications. I don't have to worry email, text messages. My phone goes on do not disturb automatically at 9:15 to 6 a.m. If you're not part of my favorites, you can't get a hold of me.
Oh, wait.
So I have boundaries.
She said, wait a minute, you are not a part of her favorites.
You cannot get a hold of me.
You cannot get a hold of me.
Yeah,
I love it. Oh.
Right, because it was full of noise. And then also my self-care, I love taking myself out to fine dining. Like this last weekend, I went right to the Hilton and went swimming. I got in the hot tub. I went to go to Canada for a little bit, just do a little sightseeing, came back. You know, I like to do those self-care stuff for me.
Yes.
I'm making time for me.
Yes.
Because I didn't do that. I robbed myself for too long. I'm no doing that no more. No longer. No more. So I make time for me.
You know, when I started Queen Rise Up, it started with self-love because you cannot give what you do not have.
Right.
And it wasn't a selfishness. It's that it's not going to happen to you, but it's for you. But at the same time, your life's going to help someone else's life.
Right. I often say this, that you don't go do things just for yourself, you go do things for other people. And that's a true statement. If you haven't gone through what you're going through, I would never saw your show.
And if she would never made that comment, she'd probably never been on the stage.
Right.
So she wasn't afraid to make a comment. And she just simply said, I have a story. I want to share my story.
It's like, I would love to chime in on this.
Because I believe
like just talking. Right. I'm like, I don't understand. You know, I'm touching agreeing. Didn't know it was going to lead to this.
Because women, you have a voice.
Thank you.
You have a voice, and now you have a safe space. And I believe that these opportunities is just a new beginning, a new chapter.
Absolutely. I agree.
For your life.
Thank you.
I am excited. I just want to talk about some other key things because the journey to the rising up, it does take strategy. And I heard through this whole process how you use strategy. I am a strategist. In order to win a war, you got to have some strategy.
Right.
And sometimes we just be swing fighting and don't know what we need to do. I don't know about you, but I had to go to counseling. Yeah. Because the things that where God couldn't yet reach, I needed to bring it up to the top so I was able to deal with it. But you need a strategy. You said something in the beginning of your story before you got to your elevation pieces of your life is how you should have been medicated. No. Because
statistically speaking, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking.
I've been there. They asked me I want to be on depression medication. I said no.
Right.
Guess what? You know, I told them why I told them no? Because I said I know who this is. Because I know who this is. And when I know who you are, and I realize who I was, we don't need no medication. We come because I'm coming up out of this.
Right.
So.
Right. And I agree with you. And there's no knock to anyone that does, right? And I have
I agree.
nothing against that. If you need it, that's for you.
Yes.
I'm saying, statistically speaking, when on paper, when you go through trauma, they say this is what the outcome is. You know, you lose your faith, you lose your will to fight. You're not in tune. You have give up internally. You know, you don't see people have traumatic experience happen to them. They're no longer the same. I was determined. I was like, God, I am more than this. I'm not gonna I already allowed him, the enemy, rob me too long. You don't get nothing else from me.
That's it.
So that means I gotta sit myself still and deal with me. And in the process of dealing with me, and the reason why a lot of people don't like deal with themselves, it's painful, it's uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable to become comfortable. I'm willing to bite that. If I can endure that for 10 years, I'm willing to deal with myself for a year or two. I don't like it. Yeah, it's ugly. Yeah, I don't look pretty right now. Yeah, the tears are coming down my eyes. I'm mad at myself. How dare I? Especially when you discover who you are, and you look back, I did what? I tolerate what? I know you lying.
But you don't even realize that you're in that space for so long.
You don't know you're in bondage until you're free. That's my word.
Can we look? Can you say that again?
You don't know you're in bondage until you're free.
And some.
I'm
And you'll be
serious.
like, wow, how did I get here? Why was
Right.
there so long?
Right, because
What was I doing in that space?
my ex mind me really bad. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? I'm keeping it very PG-13. But he did that so much because my identity was in him. He wanted to strip me from my identity. Yeah, you look good, but you should lose this weight. Yeah, I like your hair, but you should do this. You shouldn't get your hair done, nails done. I don't like that. I want all natural. I'm all for change, but don't you dare alter me. I'm all for change, but don't you dare alter me. That's not how it works. If I met you knowing that you love the movies, why would I change and alter that about you? If I met you knowing that you like to keep your hair nice and cut and you like your jewelry, why would I alter it? That's part of you. You wanted to take me and wanted to alter me. It's like a dress. Once you cut it, that fabric does not grow anymore. New dress, we're going to keep cutting it. I allowed him to alter me and it didn't fit his need or no longer was suitable for me. You got rid of me and all actually you did me a favor.
Oh, can I just say that again? You did a
favor.
let me be a favor.
A favor.
Don't
Thank
alter
you.
me to fit you.
That's the only thing
I
you will
love
get
it.
from me is that.
I
Thank
love
you.
It. I love it. Can I just say this, guys? Y'all just give it up for Tammi Robinson. Don't try to alter her. But I want to thank you for joining me right here on Queen Rise Up. And Tammi Robinson, I want to thank you for your story. It was a pleasure and honor to have you on this table. And Queen, I see you have risen. Can I just say that? Thank you. Make sure, and you can find me Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you for joining me right here on Queen Rise Up.
Thank you.